Sometimes it feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your chest. A song hits you too deeply. A conversation lingers for days. A glance, a word, even silence. It's enough to keep you up at night. You've probably wondered more than once, why do I feel things so much more than other people seem to? And sometimes it almost feels like a curse, like your emotions are too heavy for you, too much for others, and you'd give anything just to turn the volume down. But the truth is, feeling deeply isn't a weakness. It's not something broken in you. It's something human, just amplified. Psychologists often talk about high sensitivity, and it's not just about being emotional, it's about your nervous system. Some people are wired to process more stimuli. That means you notice subtleties others don't. You pick up on tone, energy, small changes in expression. Your brain doesn't just skim the surface, it dives in and absorbs the details. That depth is why you feel so much. And while it can overwhelm you, it also gives you a way of seeing the world that others miss entirely. But here's the complicated part. Feeling too much often comes with shame. Growing up, you might have been told you're too sensitive, that you overthink everything, or that you make things harder than they are. So instead of learning how to live with your emotions, you learned to suppress them. You learned to apologize for them. You started seeing your sensitivity as a flaw. But sensitivity doesn't mean fragility. It means you're tuned into life in a way most people aren't. At its core, the reason you feel too much is because your mind and body don't just register experiences. They absorb them. That's why conflict cuts so deeply, why rejection feels unbearable, why joy feels overwhelming in the best and worst ways. It's like you're living life without armor. The highs are higher, the lows are lower, and the world can feel too loud, too sharp, too raw. But here's something important to remember. Feeling deeply isn't just about pain. It's also about connection. People who feel too much often form bonds that are profound because they're not just connecting on the surface. They're sensing the unspoken, the things that go beyond words. Your ability to feel deeply is also what makes you empathetic, compassionate, creative. It's the same quality that allows artists to create, healers to comfort, and dreamers to imagine a better world. Still, it's not easy, because the very thing that gives you depth also makes life exhausting. You may carry burdens that aren't yours. You may replay conversations that others forgot the moment they ended. You may struggle with overstimulation because your brain is constantly processing, interpreting, and absorbing. And it's tempting to see this as something you need to fix. But maybe the challenge isn't to feel less. Maybe the real challenge is to learn how to carry your feelings without drowning in them. That means boundaries. That means learning to step back when emotions feel too big, grounding yourself in the present, reminding yourself that not every thought needs to be chased, not every feeling needs to be solved. It also means giving yourself permission to rest, to step away from people, from noise, from the chaos of the world, not because you're weak, but because your system processes more and you need time to reset. And here's the shift that might inspire you. The depth of your feelings can be your greatest strength. Think about it. When you feel deeply, you notice beauty others miss. You see meaning where others only see routine. You experience connection in ways that can make life rich and layered. The very thing that makes you feel like you're too much is what makes life so vivid, so full. The world often tells you to numb yourself, to toughen up, to care less. But maybe your task isn't to become less sensitive. Maybe your task is to become resilient with your sensitivity intact, to learn how to hold your feelings without being ruled by them, to recognize that your depth isn't a burden, it's a gift. Because the truth is, most of the world is starving for people who care, who feel, who notice, people who see what others overlook. So yes, sometimes you'll feel like it's too much, sometimes it will hurt. But the alternative, a life where you feel nothing, where everything is muted and shallow, isn't a life worth living. Feeling too much means you're alive. It means you're awake to the world in all its mess and beauty. And while that might make the journey harder at times, it also makes it infinitely more meaningful. So maybe stop wishing you were less. Maybe start asking how you can take care of yourself in the depth you already carry. Because you don't feel too much. You feel exactly as much as you were meant to. And maybe, just maybe, The world needs more people like you who feel things all the way through.